Welcome to the 2021 Golf Summer Series, race number 8. Today we're here at the Watkins Glen International for the Axalta 250 at the Glen. For our second midweek race of the season, we go from one of the longest GSS races of the year to one of our shortest races of the summer, all in this historic road course in front of the sellout crowd. But before we get started, let's take a look at our starting lineup. So on the front row, we got two rookies who come in this race pretty deep in the point standings, David Johnson and RC Gamer. Row 2, Keisha Arnson, who's won at a road course before in the summer series, and none against Scott. Row 3, Jason Albert and Pittsburgh winner Johnny Hernandez. Row 4, Mexico City winner Brad Reim and Rain Vela. Row 5, Ryan Wilson and Armour Digital winner Braden Carruthers. Row 6, Ada Robertson and Texas World winner It's Movement. Row 7, we got two New York natives, Dan Matteillo and Kellen Baker. Row 8, Trey Smith and Dominic Payment. Row 9, Nelson Reeves and Random J. Row 10, we got two Matthews, Matthew Hill and Matthew Burnett. Row 11, Herbert Solman and Ross McTrain. Row 12, Richard Herman and Jordan Stout. Row 13, Joe T and Devin Payment. Row 14, Kyle Salmon and Jordan Forbes. Row 15, Dan McTrain and Hodwell, he won it from Talladega this past Sunday. Row 16, Nick Sant and Lipsy. Row 17, Owen Miles and current points leader Brendan Beal, who also happens to be from New York. And starting last in row 18 is John McFadden. And now it is time for the starting command here at Watkins Glen.
Drivers, start your engines!
Taking a look at the track info here for today's race, we're going to go 18 laps on this 2.4 mile long road course, with the maximum elevation being just under 1,600 feet above sea level. And that's the water here today at Watkins Glen, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, with 11 miles per hour towards the northwest. So after a beautiful, beautiful day here for some racing. Hope everyone watching is having a good day here so far. As the pace car already comes down pit road and towards the start-finish line. And here we go. For the first time ever, the Golf Summer Series is under green here at Watkins Glen. Down the hill and into turn number 1. Most of the field is still side by side. 3 wide with Ada Robertson there up towards the inside. Oh, Random J gets loose. He saves it. What a great save from Random J, who was towards the deep, backer half of the field. We'll take a look at the replay of that once we get it. As off for turn number 4, David Johnson pulls the way with the lead as RC Gamer side by side with Keisha Arnson. Into the inner loop and into turn number 5. Looks like RC will clear Richardson. It's now Jason Albert side by side for third. Richardson is still trying to hang on as they come off turn number 5. Into turn number 6, Albert with the advantage over Richardson. As into 7, like Albert will clear the 24 for third. Actually, no, Richardson's still side by side as David Johnson will lead lap number 1 of 18. While all of this is happening, we actually did get a replay of what happened with Random J about a lap ago. In the bottom right-hand portion of the screen, like Matthew Burnett just turned Random into Matthew Hill. Appears that all 3 drivers have no serious damage and are still continuing the rest of this race. Off turn number 4, the battle for third is still on between Richardson and Albert. It's like Richardson that time by with the advantage off turn number 4. As they go with the inner loop, Richardson looks like he'll clear now Albert with a great run into the inner loop. As this battle for third continues on. Behind him in 5th is the 86 and none against Scott, having actually one of his best runs of the season. He came to this race 34th in the point standings, was actually involved in a wreck last week at Talladega, which took out two of the Baker racing cars of Baker and Ryan Wilson, as well as David Johnson. There's Johnny Hernandez currently in 6th. And that 46 team has done a really good job these past several races of trying to rebound after a disastrous start. Up to 18th in point standings, also with a win at Pittsburgh. There's Reim currently in 7th. Of course, his first career GSS win last year came at the streets of Toronto, another road course last summer. Reim came this race in the 14th position in points, having a pretty up and down season so far. Robertson currently in 8th. He came this race 27th in the point standings. In fact, most of the RC Motorsport cars this year in their debut season are all pretty much struggling besides Nelson Reeves in the 16. And there's car number 8 of Rain Vela, currently in 9th, going in front of Ryan Wilson, the Winter Street Stocks champion, rounding off the top 10. As RC Gamer is actually getting a lot of ground on David Johnson his past lap or so. Last time by, the gap between the two rookies was a little over half a second. As into turn number 7, RC for a great run, looking to the outside. But Johnson still holds on as he complete lap number 3. Taking a look at the intervals as the update, as now the gap is now down to 0.2 per second, a little over 0.2 per second between the two rookies. Into turn number 2, Johnson for great entrance there. RC continues to gain on that 2 car, as both of them trying to get bragging rights as the first rookies to win this season. And speaking of rookies battling for positions, we got a battle here for 8th between Ada Robertson and Rain Vela. Vela to the outside of Robertson into the inner loop, but it looks like Robertson will hang on as the battle for continues between RC Gamer and Johnston. As RC looks to the outside of Johnson towards the backstretch straightaway. But Johnson's able to block as they go into turn number 6. On board of RC Gamer here in the 42. And also another thing to note between these two drivers, their teams have yet to win a Summer Series race, because as I mentioned, RC Motorsports this is their first ever season. But Cohen Racing has been around since the first ever GSS race. They have yet to find victory lane as we come to lap number 5. You also see Keisha Archie gain a little bit of time as well on the 2 leaders, as he's also trying to make history here in the Summer Series as the first Pontiac to be in victory lane, as RC looks to the outside of Johnson into the inner loop. Side by side into the bus stop and out of the bus stop. Looks like Johnson will clear RC into turn number 5. No, they can see Richardson as well as the rest of the field also right behind these 2 leaders, and if these two make a mistake, one of those guys behind can take advantage. Off the back bumper of Johnson into turn number 6. And into turn number 7. That's going to be a great corner for Johnson. RC also backed off a little bit there as we come to lap number 6. Down the hill and into turn number 1 once again. A great entrance for both Richardson and RC. RC's going to gain a lot of time as Johnson loses quite a bit of ground there. Jason Albert in an 80 also in the picture as they go through the S's. Richardson also right behind RC as they come off turn number 4 and down this long straightaway. Looks like Richardson's looking to the outside of RC, but RC will clear him as they come towards the inner loop. There you can see the gap now back down to 0.2 per second between Johnson and RC, but Richardson is also a little over half a second behind Johnson. Down this long backstretch once again. RC this time looking to the inside of Johnson into turn number 6. Will he make it stick? Looks like he will. Will the same be said for turn number 7 as they're still side by side. RC with the advantage off turn number 7. Side by side for the lead as they come down the front stretch. Lap number 7, 18 this time by. Top 2 still side by side. Albert once again side by side with Richardson. Johnson currently has the advantage off for turn number 1. will RC do here in turn number 2? Johnson tried to clear RC into the S's, but the 42 still on the inside. Albert up to 3rd now as he cleared Richardson. As they come off turn number 4 and down this long straightaway once again. RC and Johnson still side by side. What's going to happen here when they come into the inner loop? And that was a bad interest there for Johnson. Out of the inner loop, RC Gamer to the lead here at Watkins Glen. And now Johnson has to deal with Albert for 2nd. Down the backstretch once again. Richardson looking to the inside also. As Albert will clear Johnson for 2nd. As now comes Richardson for 3rd. 2 and 24 currently side by side as come to turn number 7. As RC Gamer will come to lead his first lap of the day. Into turn number 1, Johnson with the advantage over Richardson. As the two are still side by side with his 3rd position. Into the S's, where Johnson will finally clear Keyshawn Richardson for the 3rd position. As RC's lead over Jason Albert is a little less than half a second. Here comes Johnny Hernandez looking to the outside of Keyshawn Richardson for 4th. As the two are now side by side into the bus stop. And out of the bus stop, Richardson still holds on as Hernandez tucks back into 5th. Duncan Scott trying to get a run off Johnny Hernandez as they come down the back straightaway once again. He's able to get a run. Looks like Brandon Carruthers trying to hold off movement. So Carruthers will clear movement for that position back there. Brad Reim still in 7th as Carruthers now trying to go for 10th. He's currently side by side with Ryan Wilson. As these two are side by side going into turn number 1. As they head down the S's. Looks like Carruthers will clear Ryan Wilson for the 10th spot, but Wilson still fighting back on the inside. As they come off turn number 4. There's Dan Matteillo coming off a runner-up run at Talladega this past Sunday. Definitely a much-needed runner-up for that team, as he's now up to 33rd in points, up 2 positions after this past Sunday's race. Looks like in front of Matteillo, Wilson will hold off Brandon Carruthers for the 10th spot. There's Matteillo's teammate, It's Movement, currently in 13th. He came to this race 22nd in points, had a decent run at Talladega until lap traffic played a factor. And there's Matteillo now looking to the inside of Brandon Carruthers. They're side by side for the 11th position. Definitely a good thing to see a lot of passing here so far at Watkins Glen, as opposed to other road courses in the past. Into turn number 1, it looks like Carruthers will hold off Matteillo. No, Matteillo still on the inside of the 4 car. As Carruthers will clear Matteillo to hold on to 11th. There's Carruthers' teammate Dominic Payment, currently in the 14th position, as Carruthers still tries to hold off Dan Matteillo. Of course, Dominic coming off that heartbreaker finish at Talladega. He, of course, led during the white flag, but ran out of gas as he went down the tri-oval. There's Trey Smith currently in 15th. He came to this race 4th in points. Of course, his lone GSS run came at Sonoma last year, which this track ended up replacing. Kellen Baker currently in 16th. Of course, coming off his first ever GSS DNF last Sunday at Talladega. Definitely kind of crazy to think that was just his first DNF of his entire GSS career. There's Random J currently in 17th. Came to this race 5th in points. Of course, had that big scare on the first lap after getting turned by Matthew Burnett, ended up saving it. There's Matthew, another one of those drivers involved in that first lap scare. As he came to this race 17th in the point standings. Currently side by side now with fellow rookie Nelson Reeves. And there's Richard Herman rounding off the top 20 as he came to this race 29th in points. Had a pretty decent start to the season, but much like last year, a lot of bad luck has plagued that 95 team. Devin Payment currently in 21st. Came to this race 23rd in points. Had a really good points day at Talladega this past Sunday, getting a top 10 finish. Behind him is his teammate Matthew Burnett in the 13. He came this race 24th in the point things. Another team's on a bad record. Round goes Kyle Salmon off turn number 4. Nixon also goes for a spin. And the caution will come out for the first time here today at Watkins Glen. Pretty heavy damage to both the 52 and 36. Meanwhile, in the back straightaway, both RC Gamer and Jason Albert have pulled away from the rest of the field. Into turn number 6, Albert trying to get a run off RC. But RC still hangs on as they go into turn number 7. As RC Gamer will lead the field back down to the stripe. This caution is definitely a bad break for both RC and Albert, but a great break for pretty much everyone else in the field unless for these two drivers involved. Looking at the rest of the running order quickly here, we got John McFadden currently in the 33rd spot. Owen Miles also back here. Brendan Beal, your points leader, also back here. Hoodwum, Joe T, a lot of your point leaders towards the back half of the field as everyone here checks up for whatever reason. But anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our first wreck of the day. So all this started going into the S's of turns 3 and 4. Salmon came down into 52. Nick Sant didn't seem to like that and just turned Salmon into the wall. Owen Miles in 60 doing a pretty decent job of being as minimum damage as possible. He had pretty much nowhere to go there. Definitely could have been a lot bigger wreck, but both cars will continue the rest of this race. Well, let's go on board for Nick Sant to 52. There's contact there. And there's contact again. This time he's going to turn him. As previously mentioned, both drivers will continue the rest of this race as we're under caution for the first time here today at Watkins Glen. We'll be back with you guys after this. Welcome back to the inaugural GSS race here at Watkins Glen. We're about to go back green after the multi-car spin off turn number 4, involving the 52 of Nick Sant, Kyle Salmon in the 36, and Owen Miles in the 60. All three of those drivers mentioned are still in the race and are still on the lead lap. Take a look at the fastest laps here so far. Keisha Ernst the 24, currently has the fastest time, followed by Jason Albert, Johnny Hernandez, Brad Reim, and Devin Payment. Taking a look at the top 3 of the race, RC Gamer in the 42, currently in first, Jason Albert in second, and 2 of David Johnson round up the top 3. All 3 of these drivers looking for their first ever Golf Summer Series wins. Will it come here today as the pace car comes down pit road and off turn number 7 and towards the front stretch? As we're back on the green here at Watkins Glen. The field mostly in a single file train going into turn number 1. Johnson looking to the outside of Albert for second, trying to get that spot back as they head towards the S's once again. Slow down Matteillo, hard into the wall! Trey Smith in the 66 also involved as they're under caution yet again. My god, that was a hard hit for Matteillo in that 14 as we're side by side for the lead towards the inner loop. Off the bus stop, 42 and 80 still side by side as into turn number 5, RC will clear Albert. Sharonson and Johnny Hernandez side by side for 4th as they head down the backstretch once again. Looks like into turn number 6, Richardson once again will hold off Johnny Hernandez for the 4th spot and tuck back into line. Out at turn number 7, RC Gamer will come back to the line once again as your leader. Taking a look at the cars deep in the field once again. Most of the running order is still mostly the same as everybody's stacking up here off turn number 1. I don't know why that's happening. Looks like not really any serious damage to any of these drivers here. Of course, there's Brendan Beal, your points leader going in this race. Currently in the 29th position, not running well at all at his home track. Those Owen Miles, of course, was involved in our first incident of the day. Jordan Forbes in 61, currently in 27th. There's Hoodwum and Joe T, a couple of your point leaders. All the way back here below the top 25. Hoodwum in 25th, where Joe T's in 24th. So again, not a good day for a lot of these drivers up in the points. The 37 of Dan McTrain in 26. 67 of Herbert Solomon in 23rd. Ross McTrain in 22nd, and there's Jordan Stout, currently in 21st. As we're going to take a look at the instant replay to see what caused this really violent impact for Dan Matteillo. So all of this started coming off turn number 1 and into the S's. Looks like Smith and Matteillo just made contact. So Matteillo around hard impact for that 14. As Trey Smith also hits the wall and goes for a spin as well. Definitely going to cause huge point implications for Trey Smith as he came to this race 4th in the point standings. As we're going on board with Dan Matteillo here. Hang on, this is going to be a really hard hit. Oh my god. Looks like that thing never even slowed down. Definitely got to hope Matteillo is alright after that. Let's go on board with Trey Smith. Yep, definite contact between the 14 and 66 there. Matteillo just came back on the track, sent the 66 into the wall for a spin. You also saw Dominic Payment at 55 get loose off of movement in the 5 car, so that definitely could have been a big wreck if Dominic wasn't able to save it. As we're under caution yet again here at Watkins Glen. We'll grab you guys after this. This weekend, the Golf Summer Series heads to the Rockingham Speedway for our last race before the Firecracker 400 and our bye week. That'll be on our channel Sunday night at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time, barring any delays. Meanwhile, here at Watkins Glen, we're about to go back green after a hard impact for Dan Matteillo in that 14 car. He's currently the only car out of this race. This is actually his 3rd DNF of the season, so struggles will continue for that 14 team here this season. Meanwhile, your top 3 still remains unchanged of RC Gamer in the 42, Jason Albert in the 80, and David Johnson in the 2. As mentioned, all 3 of these drivers have yet to win here in the Golf Summer Series. And it's definitely going to be an interesting restart as we come to only 2 laps to go. And here we go, green flag. Another thing to factor for the rest of this race are pit stops as the fuel window is quickly closing. We saw what happened last week at Talladega with the fuel window of everybody running out just to make it all the way. So I definitely won't be surprised that it happens here again today. Down against Scott, side by side with Johnny Hernandez for 5th. Off turn number 4, looks like Scott will clear Hernandez as the battle for the lead continues between Albert and RC into the inner loop. As Johnson and Richardson got a great run in the bus stop. They're going to get a lot of ground in the top 2 as they go into turn number 5. On board of Jason Albert in the 80. Trying to get a run in that 42. Albert's best finish in the Summer Series was a runner-up last month at Armor Digital in this very same paint scheme. Can he get the W here today? As oh, here come the 42 and 80 down pit road. Looks like these two will not have enough to finish the rest of the race. Several drivers also come down pit road as David Johnson will assume the lead once again here at Watkins Glen. White flag, 1 lap to go. As they go down turn number 1, of course the question is, will Johnson have enough to make it? And in addition, can he hold off a hard charging Keisha Richardson as they come off turn number 1 and head into the S's? Down the S's for the final time. Richardson continuing to gain ground in that 2 car as they come off turn number 4. Down the long straightaway into the inner loop for the final time. A great run for that 24. He's right on the back bumper of Johnson as we go on board from here. And no, that was a bad exit for Richardson out of the inner loop as they come towards turn number 5 for the final time. Down the backstretch once again. Richardson on right on the back bumper of Johnson. This is the last chance. Looking to the inside, but tucks back in. Will anybody come down pit road this time by? It looks like everybody will stay out as they come to turn number 7 for the final time. Rookie David Johnson will come towards the front stretch as he gets his first GSS win here at Watkins Glen. Congratulations to David Johnson and Dracone Racing, the very winners for today here at Watkins Glen. Of course, this is the first win for Johnson in the Summer Series, as well as the first win overall for Dracone Racing as an organization, so definitely congrats to them. It's definitely been a long time coming for that team. Let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after today's race. So here we go, David Johnson finishes first. This is actually the second time in a row a midweek race has produced a first-time winner, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens during our next midweek race at IRP next month. Keisha Arnson finishes second, so it continues the streak for Pontiac finishing inside the top 10. Nuttigan Scott finishes third, so good day all in all for Draconian Racing, as two of the cars will finish inside the top 5. Johnny Hernandez finishes fourth. Again, this kind of supports what I said earlier. 46 team has done a really impressive job these past several races to turn around their season. Brad Reim finishes 5th. He's actually only dodged to finish inside the top 10. Ada Robertson finishes 6th. Good run for him, as well as Rayton Vela in 7th. Definitely a much needed run for that 8 team that's been struggling these past several weeks. Ryan Wilson finishes 8th. Its Movement finishes 9th. And Dominic Payment will round off the top 10 here at Watkins Glen. And now for the point standings after race number 8. Brendan Beal still has the points lead of 253 points. But right behind him are two hard-charging Atlanta Indy drivers of Keisha Anderson and Jordan Stout, both only 5 points back. So this just goes to show you how well of a season Pontiac has had so far. And in fact, most of the top 10 points are relatively close, especially compared to a couple weeks ago at Pittsburgh, where the distance between second and third was over 20 points. Now, the distance between second and third are tied, so that's definitely pretty interesting to see. Hoodlum drops to 4th in points, but is still only 7 points back. Random J still in 5th, now behind by 10. Kellen Baker in 6th, behind by 17. Nelson Reeves in 7th, takes over the Rookie of the Year point standings, behind by 19. Brad Ream up to 9th in points, behind by 23. And Trey Smith all the way down to 10th in points, behind by 28. So it's definitely going to be an interesting battle for the points lead, as one slip up from one of these drivers could drop him down several positions, which could play into the championship by the end of the season. So next up, race number 9, we head to the Rockingham Speedway down in North Carolina for the Pop Secret 350. That'll be on our channel June 20th, Father's Day night at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. Of course, as I mentioned, it's the last race before our bye week and the Firecracker 400. So it's definitely an important race for drivers to get as many points as they can for the inevitable Super Speedway chaos. But as always, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.